Greetings, everyone. I hope you're all doing most well. I hope you're all feeling magical tonight. And I miss you all. Something came up in the news, and I'm going to bring it up. No more me just talking off the top of my hat, like with the fairy story. Here we've got the Secret Service is going to be spending the month at Disney World, November. So if you feel like spending time with the Secret Service at Disneyland, that is when they're going to be there. It's interesting, and this article did point it out, that they're going to be there as campaign season heats up. So I'm not sure why they're pulling the Keystone Cops off of the campaign trail in the hot month of November politically to go to Disney World. They're seeking attendees for the LGBTQ, it says, but from what I'm reading, they tend to go there anyway. But it's interesting. They're kind of trying to lure a certain group to a private amusement park when maybe they could be just doing their job. So it's weird. Here I am, trying to find what little is left on the internet. So much goes, but there was some good, interesting interview here, and was basically saying that Disney's parks are purpose-built as huge props and facilities for trauma-based mind control. And okay, it's in Reddit, whatever. Here, why don't we maybe start with, how do you like his eyebrows, huh? Do you know who that is? That's Michael Aquino. Michael Aquino. And yes, he's really high up in the military. And on the side, he is he's the head of his own little temple of Satan here. And here he is pictured with Sammy Davis Jr. and Anton LaVey. So, this is interesting that we have this. He was head of like psychological operations. He's not just like, oh, I'm in the military and I'm kind of weird. It's like, no, he was head of psychological operations and just all kinds of wild stuff. And there are kids who feel like, that, well, that's like, there's cases against him, okay? From kids who swear that he stole them from their daycares on these military bases. How creepy is that? Here we've got the Snow White ride, and a lot of people talk about children. They found that the ages of 3 to 5 were really the best for bringing in children to go on these utterly creepy rides, and maybe drug them. Why not? All of these things that can alter the personality, that can turn it into whatever it is they're looking to turn it into, unless they're just enjoying inflicting trauma on children. One really begins to wonder about academia, the science movement, the more you look into what is actually going on here. And, speaking, just why would a child even want this? It's dark, it's creepy. I was just reading recently interviews with children that are really young, like too young to be cynical about this kind of mind altering place after they've been. People will say, what was your favorite part of being at Disney World? And they'll just say things like, I really liked being in the parking lot. You know, it never has anything to do with actually, look at all this occult, just witches and scary stuff, drugs, alchemy. Again, the witch, like, and then here's the shattered personality of the innocent child, and the dwarves that are there, you know, supposedly this control, mind control, is to learn to put up with different types of men. Dopey, grumpy, sleepy. I can't remember all of them, I'm sorry. So, yeah, it's just, and then if you'd like to see this popped up while I was kind of going through things, here's Harry Styles dressed as Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. And that's just kind of a weird, they're talking about a hypnosis of the female fans. This particular type of sex kitten programming does tend to be more female than male in general. I'd been also looking at maps of the various bases. There are a lot of bases. This is a heavily militarized zone. You know, Disney is not far from these places. I believe it's Edwards Air Force Base right there where Aquino was running the show, you know, and it doesn't look so far-fetched when you start seeing this is who's in charge in a base right over the hill from Disneyland. It just doesn't seem that far out at all. There's just too much. There are too many people who've been writing about it, who've had these traumas, and this guy is all about trauma-based psychology. He has an unlimited amount of money to do Psyops. Not anymore. He is now deceased, but he sure had a lot of power for many, many, many years. And when you start to see that this is the face of the military, yeah, my God. So when I was reading some of those, I was triggered. I hate to use that word, but we lived in LA when I was 5, I guess, and we went to Disneyland a lot, and I went to a hypnotist then, which is so weird to me, and I've been trying to find out who it was. He was bespectacled, bald, he was European, like Eastern European or something, and I do remember even what he would tell me to do. He would tell me to focus on Barbie and that I was walking down the beach with Barbie, which is just utterly bizarre. So, you know, again, what is the Secret Service doing there? Are they getting programmed? Are all these Secret Service people going on the rides, right? Are they getting hypnotized? Do they have hypnotists? Why, how many are going to be there? You know, it's just wild. So, sorry if this is a little bit off the cuff kind of thing. I'll leave you some links if you're interested in seeing this. It's about, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, the Alice in Wonderland rides. Basically, just all these people remembering just how completely scary it is. So, it's very occult. It's very occult. So we see these connections. What on earth do we do with them? We're just like kind of trying to, I feel, just grasp here at what it is that has been happening to everyone. And Harry Styles there. And this guy really needs to be looked into more. Much love.